We were raised by a single mother. When I was about 4 years old, our house burned down. Insurance didn't cover paying off that mortgage. So fortunately, my mom was a nurse and she was able to work a ridiculous amount of hours, some 80 hours a week, and pay off that mortgage while still finding us another place to live. So I've been fortunate to have a lot of really good role models in my life. Obviously, my mom being at the top of that list.
Okay. When all is good, why rock the boat when my child support's low?
Yes.
Okay. We know who it was filed by.
She always very passionately said, I'm going to be an attorney. And she'd look at me with dead set eyes, and I 100% believed her. And not only just becoming an attorney, but actually being a good attorney that is going to make a difference. Erin's passion sets the bar for everyone else in our office. So we're at home on a Saturday night, it's 8 o'clock, Erin's phone starts buzzing. It says a lot of our staff who's feverishly working to prepare for the cases that we're going to handle that next week. They share Erin's passion, and it's contagious, and it's been spreading through our firm.
All right. Thanks for staying so late. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. I love doing family law. I feel like I really help people every day. I feel like we really make a difference for people, and I feel like families are benefited from the work we do. I started this firm with $2,500 in my bank account, and in the course of a year, I've helped over 200 families find a way to get through the turmoil that they're experiencing. I'm Erin Morse, and I'm here to help your family find your new normal.
Live from the law office of Erin Morse Studios in beautiful downtown Orlando, it's Live with Erin Morse, the only live Q&A where you can ask your legal questions and have them answered live on the air. And now, Erin Morse.
As crazy as it sounds, I love watching the intro because I love Marcos's voice every time I hear it.
It's really funny. It's really funny. I love that it's like a late night talk show.
There we go. Okay. I thought I was having some pitch right there, but no, we are perfect. Welcome everybody to the live Q&A with attorney Erin Morse. My name is Patricio. I am the co-host of the show. And of course, the one, the only,
I am Batman.
We're getting ahead of ourselves on that one. Oh man. How you doing today, Erin?
Oh, so good. So good. Today was a pretty good day, I would say.
Okay, now the buzzing is gone. Okay, if for some odd reason I kept hearing a little buzz, but now the buzz is gone. There we go.
Getting videos and stuff sent to me.
Oh man, so how's your week been? How's everything been going with you so far?
It's been good. We've been, getting more hearing times. They just keep opening up. So we're working through that and the availability of the things we've been trying to get set. Some things for months and months, and finally, since it's opening up, or we're pushing harder. So it's been really good. We're remodeling my house.
So far, the last thing you said was that they were putting in the tile.
The floors are in.
Okay.
Cabinets go in tomorrow.
That's the
cabinets. That's why I remodeled my house, was because I have a particular type of cabinets that I really wanted.
I was going to ask, what was the inspiration? Why those specific cabinets that for the house? Did you see them in a movie?
Yeah, I saw them have you ever seen that show Grace and Frankie?
Grace and Frankie, yes.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
Their beach house has these navy blue cabinets that I saw and I loved. I'd always knew what is a theme for me that I have is that a lot of home remodeling or making those decisions on designing a home, it isn't necessarily that. Um, it's mostly that I don't care about it. I'm not inspired by it. I don't love it. I don't always, um, I like HGTV, but when I look at it, when I look at it, I'm not inspired by, oh my God, I know exactly what I want and I have this picture in my mind. I'm
Kind of
just
like
not
someone
gonna-
we know that's going through a really a bad hardship right now with a desk.
yeah, exactly. I'm just not good at it. I'm not artistic by nature. I don't know how to decorate a house. It's not my thing. I'm not good at it at all. And it doesn't inspire me. So I don't seek to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw those navy blue cabinets in Grace and Frankie, I loved them. So the fact that I wanted navy blue cabinets and our stuff was a bit outdated.
It was time to get new everything.
This time. If you had ever been in my house, there's nearly nothing on the walls. I have nice things, right?
Yeah. I'm like trying to remember back, like where they're like,
you can't remember anything on the walls because there's
nothing there. No, if it was up to me, like the way I would design my house, it'd be Star Wars memorabilia all over the place, with a little bit of Batman here, maybe
Shocked you're not married.
Power Ranger there. I mean, no. My wife will have to be a huge Star Wars fan and be able to put up with some cosplay equipment in the garage, because like our garage will not be for our cars. It'll be for building the costumes for her.
That's my line. I'm parking in the garage.
Oh. So with the hearings that you've had today, I mean, not today, just like in the past week, anything crazy that's gone on with any certain judges, or any things that just like kind of like caught you off guard in a sense?
We had 2 hearings today that, our motions are well written.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, some of our good judges, it's my belief that judges could decide to make rulings on just the written statement and the words, even though they require a hearing. So we set a hearing, and the judge, because they know us, they go, "Are you asking for X?" "Yes, Your Honor." "I see your proposed order. Is that the order you would like me to enter?" "Yes." "Is everything you said in your motion true and what you would argue here now?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Your motion is granted." So that happened twice today, right? Where the judges are, because again, we present the facts and the law and we put it right in our motion. So it's very easy for the judges to say, "I understand. Is there anything else?" And then they ask the other attorney, "Is there anything else you would add to this, or a reason why I shouldn't enter this order?" And typically they don't have it, because these were things that were relatively benign in nature, or that, because again, we presented the case law and the rules of procedure so well.
Is it that you made the judge's job a lot easier by just having everything ready for him?
I hope that that's how the judges feel. And that they know that they can trust me and that there isn't something I'm leaving out, or because I'm going to be honest every opportunity that I get to in front of the court. I'm always honest to the court. So I have come to many hearings and said, "Hey, these are the facts that aren't in our favor. These are the things that suck about my case," right? I obviously don't use that phrase. I'm much more professional, but that's, what I'll do, right?
Could I ask, like, what would be the professional term to use if you're saying this sucks?
It's an imperfect circumstance.
All right.
It isn't ideal that X, Y, and Z has occurred. It isn't
I
ideal
want to try
that
and
the
see if I can use
behavior
that term with my friends this weekend.
imperfect. It's an imperfect.
It's a perfect circumstance.
But you have to be honest with it, right? Fall on your sword.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is a case about human beings, not perfect beings, and that's allowed for in the court, and that's why we have the scales of justice and not merely the guillotine of justice.
So, Erin, we do have a couple of questions for tonight, and we do have a huge topic that we've actually gotten some feedback about in regards to family law in the DC universe.
From what you told me, it seems like are we even going to be able to get to all the questions, or are we going to have to push them off to next week?
We're going to do at least 5 questions.
Okay, I think we have some for next week too.
And,
so get them in. First come, first serve.
We definitely do have a lot, and let's jump into them because we do have some wacky ones, and there are some like legit big questions that I want to get to you. So let's start off with this one right here. I want to leave the father of my 16-year-old daughter. We have been together 24 years. Can I request alimony and support in Florida?
Child support, yes, but if you're not married, no on alimony.
So what's the reasoning behind that the law doesn't allow alimony in this circumstance?
Florida doesn't recognize common law marriages. I believe there was a time that they did, but they haven't for a number of years. So they will bind someone to alimony, and this is kind of the spirit behind the law. That this isn't going to appear in this way in any law book. But the spirit behind the law is that if you got married, you intended to live your lives together. And if during the term of the marriage you established a supportive relationship at the time of divorce, that will continue, right? So it is going to be construed throughout the intent and of the parties, the length of the marriage, need and ability. So where there wasn't a marriage, those issues are basically, Florida law says that you didn't make the intention to support this person for their life. You didn't promise them you would be together forever.
Wow, harsh, but true, right?
Sorry.
Thank you so much for that question. And now that you say that, I kind of do want to jump in.
Also, since it goes both ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
He may think he wins on the fact that he doesn't have to pay you alimony, but he loses on the fact that he has no rights to the child.
Oh, damn.
So you win some, you lose some.
Especially in family law. I mean, not every party is going to be happy with the end result in a sense.
In theory, right? And most of us family law litigators know that at the end of every divorce case, both parties are a little unhappy with the result. I know that sounds awful, but it's also a sign of a good mediation that both parties are a little like, I gave. Right? I gave up. So you should keep that in mind, that you are going to be a bit uncomfortable with the result every time.
That's why I'm hesitant on getting married. And yes, that is the only excuse, Erin.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any viable.
The next question comes in. Getting a divorce. Dog is pregnant. Who can we split the litter once they're born? So I guess they're saying, how do we split the litter once they're born?
Dogs are property. So the value of what you could sell the dog for, or what you could sell the puppies for, it's a Craigslist analysis. That's what I usually use in, Facebook Marketplace, whatever you like to use to sell goods and services without it being its own e-commerce company. But it's the value of what you could sell them for. So it would be the same as if they were chairs or diamond rings or, any other piece of property, whatever the value would be of those.
We got a comment from Jennifer right there saying, unless they hire you and get everything they want.
She speaks from experience. It's true.
All right, let's get this one out of the way. And the next question coming up is, where'd it go? My son's mother won't allow our son to watch season 2 of The Mandalorian because she's a born-again Christian. How can I file anything to make sure he can watch it?
Just have him watch it when he's in your time sharing. During your time sharing, each party can make day-to-day decisions on the care of the minor child and, typical parenting decisions like that.
But I'm saying, is there anything that could be put in place to not have him watch season 2 of The Mandalorian?
Probably not. I can't think of anything. I'm sure, you could file a hand token as long as it has the case style and case number. The clerk is going to accept it, right? Or they're supposed to. I can't see nothing that would fall out in shared parental responsibility that, watching a TV show would be harmful. Now, if it's something more extreme, and I'm going to just get real honest with you, like you're having the child watch porn, of course you're going to get in trouble for that, right? And all the laws and the reasons why. I don't have to get into that, right? And if you have that question, go straight to jail. Straight to jail. Remember like that scene in Parks and Rec?
Oh yeah. You overcook the chicken, straight to jail. Undercook it, jail. We under.
You don't go to your dentist appointment, jail. Yeah,
The next one coming in. I know in the state of Florida, it is an all-party consent state on recording. But what if my son caught us fighting during his Twitch feed? Can that be used? It's up on YouTube as well.
So if he was already recording and the parties, the parents kind of moved into that space and they knew he Twitch records and it was caught recording, then it's fine. It's fine that it's up there. That's how I interpret it, right? I'm sure that there's no case law on this, but this is the argument I would make, right? Because again, it depends. If he turned on his Twitch feed as a result of them fighting, you may have some concerns. But again, it also matters for what purpose you use it for. It is an all-party consent state, but is someone going to file a cause of action? What damages do you have? I don't know. We got a lot of stop fighting in front of your kids, you jackass. That's really what I want to say.
Yeah.
Right? Why are you fighting in front of your child?
I remember growing up because my mom has been. This is her third marriage. Third time's a charm.
My mom's too. It's cool.
I remember as a kid, there were some really bad arguments growing up, and I don't want to say like I went through some domestic violence, but I did get pulled by my hair every now and then from the stepdad, and yeah, it kind of f's with your head down the road watching those kind of arguments take place at such a young age. So,
or really feeling the abandonment of my other parent didn't rescue me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
you know, it's complex, it's confusing, and children don't interpret things the same way adults will. They don't have the life experiences. So can you do better? Don't be arguing. You can have an adult discussion and disagree about things. Why don't you set a really good example for your child that you don't need to yell and scream like a moron, right? That you can have an adult discussion. Or if you know the two of you are going to yell and scream, can you do it outside of their hearing? Go close the door. Be more mature than this. If you can't control yourself, my recommendation is that you go get therapy if you can't control yourself. I'm serious. That's unacceptable to be doing in front of your children. I'm sorry. Now, does it happen? Yes. Does it make you a bad person? No, because you're going to make the change, aren't you?
There you go.
You're welcome.
All right. The next one coming up. We split medical expenses 60-40. Our kid lost a tooth while staying with me. I put $20 under his pillow. Can I obligate the mother to pay her part?
No. That was a, decision on what you think magic looks like. Maybe next time the child has a loose tooth, send him to mom's.
I've never gotten $20 for a loose tooth. The most I ever got was like $1. Dang.
I don't even remember.
I
think my mom let the cat out of the bag early so she could stop paying.
I got screwed over
So
as a
no,
kid.
that's not real. That's like I went and bought my child pizza and it was expensive. Should dad have to pay for it? No.
Why are you buying expensive pizza?
No.
DiGiorno's. At home, real quick. All right, the next one coming up. My former partner is having a birthday party for our daughter and refuses to invite me. Our daughter invited me though. Can I still show up?
Don't.
But
have 2 birthdays.
But the daughter invited her.
That's nice. Don't let your daughter make decisions. Are they an adult? Do they make decisions? No. So I understand that your daughter may want you to go, but your daughter is going to have to come to a way and accept the fact that you and your partner are now separated. I understand that that's a reality that many children may not want, but it is a reality. And maybe in your particular family circumstances, your child gets 2 birthdays.
I want 2 birthdays.
Well,
that would have been great having 2 birthdays. When it came to our divorces as a kid, like they were just gone. They were completely out of the picture. My mom never wanted anything, no child support, no nothing. So I'm like, some people were getting 2 Christmases, 2 birthdays. I only got 1.
Same.
Next one here is last week, my daughter stayed with her mother and her stepkids, and they told her that Santa isn't real. On our parenting plan, we both have to decide on beliefs. Can I hold her in contempt?
No, because she didn't take the action. The stepkids did.
But
It's just like if it were to happen at school. What if the kids at school said?
Okay.
right? The older kids on the playground were like, Santa's not real, Santa's not real, Santa's not real. What are you going to do? Go hold them in contempt?
But what about the fact that the
Bro.
child is in her care?
Bro, toughen up.
Okay.
Let it go.
All right. Santa's not
Petty,
real.
petty, 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 petty. That's petty, right? Let it go.
Oh, I've been petty these past 24 hours.
I think at this time, and this is the way I handle when my son figured out that Santa wasn't real, is I had the conversation with him on why we do Santa and of what the real Saint Nicholas was, and then how he became a saint. And I had the conversation with him about our iteration of Santa, and it's to teach the lesson of giving without expecting anything in return. That's magic. That Santa is a person who gives anonymously and gets to, have some kindness on that. So I told my son that there are these angel trees with children who, have parents, but maybe their parents don't have a lot of money. And we can go get these little angels off the tree, and it says the things that the children want. And you buy them gifts, and they're given to the children anonymously. And you get to be Santa. So I kind of played it up like that. And that was very exciting for my son that he got to be Santa now.
Oh, that's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, that Santa was more of an idea or more of a spirit. Like Santa comes because, you are receiving gifts without someone that you should be thanking. And that now, since you received the benefit of that for a long time, that you now get to give someone the benefit of that. And then I also explained to him that it was my opinion that it's always been more fun to be the person who gets to give the gifts, see the excitement, know that someone believes in that kind of magic, that's really fulfilling.
I remember as a child.
See, doesn't that seem so much cooler than Santa?
That really does. Like, and it instills like more. How would I say it?
Values.
More values. Thank you. I've been having trouble with words lately. I remember as a child, like I would write my Christmas list and I would walk about 3 blocks to the mailbox.
Mm-hmm. Big blue mailbox.
The big blue mailbox to just drop it off. And I would sometimes like hang around the mailbox for like 5-10 minutes to see if like there was anything like magical going to happen or like something would happen. Mm-hmm. But no, it was just like me freezing my ass off waiting for the postman to pick up the damn mail. But this is our last question
because you're from Chicago, so that wouldn't make sense to people in Florida. Like, why were you cold? It's like 80 degrees in February. December.
I love this question because it's really I want to know the answer to this one, and it's probably like one of the raunchiest ones we've had in a while. Okay. So the question is, my husband and I have an open marriage. 2 months ago, we were with a married couple and she got pregnant. Her husband had a vasectomy and she wants to keep it. What can happen?
A lot of things.
I'm going to put it depends.
They could keep the child, and the husband, when a child's born to an intact marriage, there is a presumption that the child is the husband's. If he wants to deny and deestablish his paternity, he can do that. And then she could go after biological father for child support.
Dang. And what about in regards to the donor's wife? Does she have any say or anything in this whole thing?
No.
And what about, all right, so the father to, okay, the actual father, the one who basically was with the other woman, has
biological father.
The biological father has no say in regards to anything at that point.
At this point, he has no say. If husband deestablishes paternity, then she could go after him. But until that time, the case law is still developing on this. Mm-hmm. And there was one case that came forward that allowed biological father to, that they found basically that it was in the best interest of this minor child with this set of facts that this child should be parented and the biological father should have rights, when typically in every other case, the father married to the mother has all of the rights.
Okay.
So it depends on it. And if this biological father wants rights, probably now's the time to get involved and make it happen. So You okay there?
Yeah, I was trying to pull up the music for our next segment because we really you went through them quick tonight.
I know.
You what's the term that Gabby gives for you? The Montana.
Oh, Montana Morse.
Montana Morse.
Because I'm a cowboy.
Let me pull up the music on this one. But yeah, no, thank you so much for all the questions. Let me pull everyone. Where did I go? There I am. Okay.
Oh, that's him.
Cool. So let me pull up the music as we get ready for a cool segment that we've been doing for the. This is actually the second week that we've done this, and it's called Family Law in the DC Universe. So last week we were able to talk. We got down and talked about Superman and all the family law that basically got overlooked in Clark Kent's life, along with Lex Luthor, Martha, and Jonathan. But on today's episode, we are going to do, let me change the background, doing some.
I love superheroes, so that's part of why we do this. My son is 8 years old, and I don't have a good reason why I love them. I just do.
I just had it. Boom.
I just do.
And there it is. I wish you had headphones because right now the theme to the 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton is playing in the background. So as you can tell by the background or the music, so whoever's listening or watching, tonight we're talking about DC family law in the Batman world.
Yeah.
And some crazy news that we heard earlier today. The current Batman, Robert Pattinson, tested positive for COVID today.
It's very un-Batman-like. Poor guy.
And the production for Batman has been halted. I'm sure everyone's seen the trailer, and it does look pretty badass.
Well, you can't social distance if you have to pow. A little cheesy. It was kind of a dad joke.
It was. But hey, I mean, I'm always throwing out the dad jokes, and you put up with me. So I got to give you one at least.
You are so prepared to be a father with the jokes.
I cringe when I drop it because you cringe so hard back at me, and I'm just like,
they're cringy.
Yeah, I'm just
dad jokes. They're dad jokes.
That's my set. I'll see you guys later.
Tip your waitress.
So let's start off with Batman. Everyone knows the story of young Bruce Wayne, whose parents get killed in an alley, and by someone mysterious. We'll just leave it at that. And then a few years later, decides to leave the country, get trained by some monks, Ra's al Ghul, come back because Gotham is basically ran by the mob, villains, all this crazy stuff, and Bruce Wayne becomes the hero Gotham needs,
not the hero they wanted.
And he becomes Batman. So basically cut and dry right there for the nerds. But in regards to legalities and family law, I do have some questions.
All right. I'm ready.
So let's start off from the very beginning. In regards to young Bruce Wayne leaving the theater with his parents that night.
Okay.
Parents get shot. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right then and there, both parents are dead. Mm-hmm. There had to have been some sort of last will and testament by the Waynes.
I'm sure they are pretty well off, so I'm sure that they did estate planning. I'm sure that they prepared themselves for if something were to happen of this nature to make sure that they protected their assets, that they protected their son, that they protected their business. Dad was a physician. Is he a physician
I think,
all of the iterations?
I think in the iterations, he was basically just like an entrepreneur, but like with the because Wayne Enterprise, I should say, did so much because they had government contracts, they had local stuff.
Right.
They were all over the place. He just like had his fingers in almost everything.
One of the iterations, Dad was a physician and worked in a hospital just because he wanted to, and he lets more capable people run.
Oh, okay. I think
Wayne Enterprises.
I know what you're talking about on that one,
right? Which is why Wayne Enterprises could continue to move with Batman's absence.
Okay, so
Bruce, I guess he was Bruce.
So normally when both parents die, what happens with that child?
When both parents die, typically there's a guardianship that happens. They will take into consideration what the parents put in their will or whatever kind of estate planning that they chose to do. they'll take it into consideration, but it isn't guaranteed. There's still a best interest analysis that needs to happen.
Excuse me. So as we all know, Alfred Pennyworth, the butler, was the one who took over for young Master Wayne.
Ended up with custody of his boss.
Exactly. What how would that work in a sense? Because you have someone who is a non-biological relative being the guardian to said child, who basically has a multi-billion-dollar industry just waiting for him once,
So I mean that we should think of this in two ways, right?
Mhm.
The loss is probably going to want to keep this child with consistency, and Alfred has been a consistent adult in his life and is capable of caring for him.
Mhm.
And his money is likely set up in a variety of trusts and is protected by LLCs that were set up. So, that financially he had the ability to hire attorneys to get this done right. In the practicality of it, they probably have very excellent attorneys, and these attorneys push this paperwork through expeditiously with, you know, Bruce having nearly no knowledge of how it happened. He just maintained his level of consistency throughout, and no one stepped forward to fight it. But if two family members were to fight it, there would be a guardianship case that could come forward, and a best interest analysis that would have to occur as to who would be the best person to care for the minor child and probably ultimately adopt the child.
So like are there different laws in different states in regards to how guardianship is executed in these kind of circumstances?
Yes, I think they all have some iteration of the best interest of the minor child.
Mhm.
Now, naturally, I can only speak about
Florida, not
Florida.
Gotham.
Gotham is right outside the jurisdiction of what I know. But in Florida, we would make a best interest analysis on what's best for the children, and if he had aunts or uncles who came forward. Now, if it's uncontested, they're just gonna dot their I's and cross the T's,
Yeah.
right?
And okay, so moving forward with young Bruce Wayne being under the care of Alfred,
Mhm.
I'm sure with the last will and testament in place, with the guardianship in place, what rights does Bruce have at that point? If he is, yes, under the guardianship of Alfred, can he have access to the family funds, to the family?
With care and guidance of Alfred. So Alfred would be a barrier to that. But they have a strange relationship because Bruce Wayne is his boss, his master. It almost has strange power play between the two of them, right? It's strange. It's strange. But, he's Master Wayne,
Mhm.
not, child, or not, Bruce,
Yeah.
or not whatever, right? They don't have that kind of a parent-child relationship where I'm the boss. Now, so I think the oath and the promise that Alfred made to Bruce's parents is really what governs Alfred's behavior. So if Bruce wanted to do something with his money or make a decision, I believe that Alfred would do his best to guide him, but really honor the wishes of Bruce. Now, I think we need to couple this with the fact that Bruce comes from two very intelligent, very successful people who did involve Bruce in, business happenings, right? They had these communications with him. So he had a, light understanding of business, and they had, money discussions with him. So these things weren't completely unknown from him, right? He became educated, he had it all at his disposal. So, Alfred would not have, Alfred probably would not have, probably wouldn't have done anything that wasn't best for Bruce.
Now, in certain situations, if he with Alfred being the guardian of
He was declared dead at one point, remember?
Bruce,
Bruce.
oh crap, you're right.
And everything went to, right, because they did their estate planning, and everything went to Alfred.
Mhm.
So soon as Bruce came back, he goes, I own all your stuff because you were declared dead. And he went, I'll let you take the Benz, What did he say? Like he would let him borrow the car?
Yeah.
Anyway, Alfred just promptly gave it right back to him.
So you're talking about in the Dark Knight series.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dark Knight series. I was trying to remember like where in the comic books that happened, and I remember in the Dark Knight series where gotcha. So can a guardian be held accountable if he's misappropriating funds
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah.
not taking care of the child properly?
Yes. A parent could challenge it.
But both
Not a parent. I'm sorry. Another family member could challenge it.
Okay. So they can actually be held accountable for mistreating or misusing.
Right. They have
funds.
a fiduciary duty.
Okay. So let's fast forward to Bruce Wayne now becoming more an adult, having access to these funds. I'm sure there's some legalities in regards to the establishment of Wayne Enterprise. Now I'm kind of going to go a little bit back and forth with a little bit of corporate law and some family stuff. So when estate planning is set at a certain age for the young individual, they now will have full access to said funds, right?
Depending on how it's set up.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, my nephew had come into some money, and my brother, who is a wonderful father, and I have nothing but good things to say about my brother. He's such a cool. He came and visited me this weekend. I love him. But at this time, he asked me. He's like, "Hey, what do you think?" And we have a great close family relationship, and I'm the attorney of the family. So he called me and I said, I think that you should set up a trust wherein he receives money at 18, 21, and 25, because you would make different decisions with your money if given to you at certain ages.
Yeah.
So he liked that idea. Ultimately, it was his decision. He's his father, and he ended up making that decision to have a trust. So it just depends on how this trust is set up. It could be 30, it could be 40, it could be 50, any number of things. It could be on the triggering of an event. If he gets married, he gets a certain amount of money. If he has an heir, he gets a certain amount of money. You can really set up a lot of things, a lot of if-then statements.
Okay. So now
it's like law school questions.
With Bruce Wayne having access to these funds, would someone be able to hold him accountable in regards to misappropriation of said funds?
It's his money.
It's his money. So with him using Wayne Enterprise money or Wayne money itself,
make a Batmobile
to become Batman, because I'm sure with it
it was his money, Wayne Enterprises.
Once you put everything together,
it'd be like if someone were mad at me with the kind of law I do. At this office.
Where I'm getting at with the question is because Wayne Enterprises is a publicly owned company, and I'm sure they're members of the board.
Right, he's got to answer to the board.
Yeah,
certain things can happen. They can oust him, like they did. What didn't they do that with
Dark Knight?
Christian Bale,
with the Christian Bale Batman.
They tried, but
yeah.
Remember, Alfred owned the other portion, so he was like, "I'm back." Right? Yes.
So with Bruce Wayne having the funds to become a vigilante and becoming Batman, let's put Dick Grayson into the mix right now. With Dick Grayson's family being killed, and him coming into the Wayne Manor, what is that? What style of law has to take place for that to actually happen?
Who's Dick Grayson?
Oh, Robin.
Oh, I thought he had a different name.
There are so many renditions, but I'm going by just like the standard.
All right.
The standard Robin. Yeah, Dick Grayson being Robin, and Dick Grayson being under the care of Bruce Wayne.
How old was he when he came in?
I think he was like under he was under 18. He was a teenager.
So I mean, if the parents consented to him living there, just like I could let stay at your house for a number of months, and if you wanted to train him in podcasting, he could do that, right? That would be perfectly fine. It's within my rights to choose a child care provider. I could also allow my son to go to boarding school. I wouldn't lose custody because he went to boarding school. I made that decision, right?
Okay.
So this is really a question about his parents, but I mean, in this iteration, this is when Robin's parents died.
Correct.
After their death. So again, this would be the same idea. Guardianship, where did the child go and who got custody? Now, I imagine Bruce Wayne, if Bruce Wayne already had a relationship with him, right? Just family friends, right?
Yeah.
It sounded weird when I said it. Family friends. And wanted to take custody, and there was no one else willing and available, that a guardianship court would say, yeah, I don't know, the richest guy that we've ever known can, have custody of this flying trapeze artist.
Once an adoption or guardianship goes through, and now Dick Grayson, being under the wing of Bruce Wayne, and then a little bit becoming Robin, could the state take action in seeing that this man is putting this child at risk? If
So like
God
that's a
find out.
DCF question.
Okay.
Right? So DCF could be called and say that he's doing this. But if so, then perhaps DCF should be called on every child who's in the Olympics.
Oh shit.
Bam.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, you just threw that one on me.
Right.
I mean, those kids get put through a lot. I mean,
Awful.
some of them make it, but not all of them. And some kids with, in regards to art and music itself. I mean, look what happened with Michael Jackson.
Right. So different strokes for different folks, right? Everybody parents different. I don't know that that's the decision I would make for my son. I want him to be happy and healthy and well-rounded, and that's important to me. I'm going to let him play the sports he wants to play. I'm really not going to push him. I find that academics are more important than sports, but I won't let sports come before academics, that's for sure. But that's my belief. There are many parents who, say as long as you're getting B's and C's but you can, throw that touchdown, that's valuable to them. I feel differently. I don't give two craps about what you're doing on that field if your grades are bad. If your grades are bad, you ain't doing nothing other than working on your grades. I don't have that yet to worry about. I pray and hope that I don't have that to worry about, but time will tell, and I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Of course, everybody has to make the parenting decisions as best they can in the moment, but it really wouldn't be tantamount to abuse. It takes a lot.
So with moving forward on the Batman and Dick Grayson, so right there, basically, he would have to establish a guardianship, or it would be an adoption to have him fully under the care of Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I just want to go into a little bit of a corporate and possibly criminal law, in a sense where Batman has all these cool fixtures. He's got the Batcave, he's got the Batmobile, the Batwing, the Bat boat, or whatever it's called. Driving a motor vehicle without registration is illegal, right?
In Florida, yeah.
So Batman right there is breaking another. Well, besides vigilanteism being,
how do you know he's not insured?
How do you insure the Batmobile?
So I suppose that he probably has some very broad umbrella type insurance on all of the vehicles created through Wayne Enterprises and their, scientific projects.
So basically using Wayne Enterprise to insure his own stuff.
Right.
Okay.
So he could just say that he's testing a government vehicle, right?
I can take that one, but in regards to
how are you going to sue him? How would you serve Batman? So that's the other risk. That's why you have insurance, is to protect other people on the road, right? Mm-hmm. That if you are in an accident and you are at fault, this other person could be made whole by seeking out reimbursement from your insurance, right? Because mm-hmm. if you may not have the money to make them whole. So with that in mind, it's worth mentioning that how would you personally serve Batman at what address with a summons? So that's the other thing you have to realize, is that, just because a law exists doesn't mean there's automatic compliance with it.
Now, you said that they had to serve him with a summons. I know in divorce law, in family law, when you're trying to serve someone and you just can't, there are certain routes that you have to take in regards to publication or your due diligence or affidavit for non-service. Mm-hmm. If said individual was trying to serve Batman and doesn't that person have options if they can't serve him or find him?
Maybe, right? So even if they were able to do, we can serve by publication or go through an affidavit of diligent search, mm-hmm. that which isn't valid in a paternity action, right? There are some causes of actions that don't allow you to do that. But even if they did, who, how, and what would they attach it to? How would you make the physical ability to attach this to turning your judgment into money? It's a useless piece of paper.
So I guess
whose account would you grab the money from? You don't know who Batman is,
Okay.
right? How
How do you enforce it?
We have judgments that we are seeking to enforce. You have to come up with an account number to pluck the money from. You have to attach it to a home and you have to serve it on, liens. And you know how difficult it is for us to perfect judgments and,
Yeah.
and turn this piece of paper, this court order that we've succeeded on, into actually being money. What account would you attach it to?
So because he can't get caught or he can't be apprehended so they really can't enforce it in that sense.
Right. So you could get a judgment against Batman, but you'll have to wait until you learn who he is.
So basically, he's getting away with it because he's under the radar and you just can't catch Batman.
Can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. yeah, that's like what's happening.
And then the other one that I was talking about, and that you kind of basically just answered every question that I had lined up because.
All right, I'll let you ask them, and I'll.
Well, it becomes it. All right, the Batwing. The Batwing has to one. It's flying in the air, and there are so many
FAA regulations.
Every plane has to be grounded, has to be serviced, or it is not airworthy. So
you can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
So Batman could just get away with everything.
But also, Wayne Enterprises has a lot of government contracts.
Okay.
And a lot of military-like, at least this is in some iterations, military-like projects that he has a lot of clearances and authorizations for. And I also believe, say somehow there was a way to kind of tag Bruce Wayne with it, right? Just say they figure it out, right? They're brilliant and creative and they figure it out. Remember that guy who said, I think he's Batman and I want $1 million a year? And then who was the? It
was a news reporter.
No, it wasn't. It was God.
Jim Gordon?
No, God.
Morgan Freeman. Morgan
Freeman. God.
I'm like, God, what?
He plays God in Bruce Almighty.
Lucius Fox in the in the Batman.
Goes, so you think that he's a vigilante with unlimited power and he beats people up in his spare time, and you want to blackmail this man? Good luck, right? So again, that's kind of essentially he's the mafia.
So one crazy question that I want to ask you, because this one kind of relates to you in a sense.
Yeah.
Harvey Dent, after his accident, becomes Two-Face. Yeah. All right, but he was the district attorney for the city of Gotham. Now he's running amok. Now he's running a gang and all this other stuff. Would he be disbarred? Now, mind you, if he doesn't get caught, doesn't get arrested, doesn't get convicted, but he's still out there doing all this shit that Two-Face does, bringing havoc, trying to kill Batman, all this stuff.
Is it so? And this is something off the top of my head, I don't know. Is it known that Two-Face is Harvey Dent?
Yeah, because you still see half his face.
I understand that, but it's mangled, right? He's not going out in the day. He's not like at the mall, and he's not like, hey, how are you?
Actually, I will have to counter.
50% of Harvey Dent.
I will counter on that one because Harvey Dent and Bruce Wayne are best friends. So of course, Bruce Wayne being Batman would tell Jim Gordon, "Hey, Two-Face is."
Would he, or is that going to connect him?
No, he's gonna recognize. Oh, I recognize the half of his face. I recognize half that face. That's Harvey Dent, the former district attorney for Gotham. With him being a villain, would he be disbarred by the Gotham Bar Association if they found out that he was a criminal like that?
I'm gonna get petulant, right? Gotham is a city, so their bar association would be more of a social club. Right? Because we have an Orange County Bar Association, and that's not mandatory. That's more of a, association that attorneys get together and really kind of socialize and connect with each other. It would be his state bar association. What do they ever get into that? What state?
No.
Okay. So let's pretend that Gotham's the state, right? Because that's the bar association that gives him a license.
Okay.
Okay. I really particular. Sorry, I'm so.
No. I want this. I want the specifics.
But it would have to be the state. So let's pretend now for the purpose of this particular arrangement that the city of Gotham is in Florida,
Okay.
right? So the Florida Bar Association probably would seek to disbar him if it was known that he was committing these crimes, because you don't need to necessarily commit a crime to be disbarred.
Oh,
So you can
okay.
there's a lot of things in our rules of ethics that you could do that could cause yourself to be disbarred.
Okay. So Harvey Dent could or could not be disbarred. And
He likely would. It
Would likely
seems
would.
like, right? If they could connect him to it and they felt as though it was necessary
Mhm.
to remove him from being an attorney because he would harm clients and harm the profession. Yeah, I think he would be.
I was going to ask a stupid question in regards to could Two-Face still practice law if he hadn't been disbarred, but known as a criminal?
If he's known as a criminal but not convicted, and the State Bar Association didn't want to progress with action, or didn't know, or he were to succeed on his criminal, he could.
Okay. Crazy question now. With Harvey Dent being the district attorney, becoming Two-Face, who takes him off the who would fire Harvey Dent as the district attorney?
Governor?
The governor. So the
Yeah.
governor would have to fire him.
Right.
But if he
Or whoever his boss was, right? Local governments, right? Because this is city governments.
Yeah.
So
So with the district attorney also being like kind of
mayor,
the state attorney.
Yeah. Probably the
Um,
governor.
if they were to catch Two-Face and he was still district attorney, doesn't it fall under his plate that if they're going to move forward with filing criminal charges
Of
against?
course not, right? They would just in similarly to what happened with Trump, they would put a special attorney on there, right? So it would be special prosecutor.
Okay.
They have conflict
Ah.
prosecutors and they have conflict state attorneys, and yeah.
Because I've heard that term before, special attorney or counsel on that one.
We figured this out. People are sketchy. Right? We done did this before.
Oh man, so I think I'm trying to think of any other loopholes or something like that in regards to Bruce Wayne, Batman, and the family law. But basically, what you threw out there, that because he hasn't been caught, and
What are you going to attach it to?
you can't attach it to anything. So
it's a figment of your imagination.
so Bruce,
It'd be like trying to file a lawsuit against Santa Claus for breaking and entering. I keep going. I could do this all day.
yeah, no, you basically answered it right there. So
The practicality is that you couldn't tag him with it because you don't know who he is, right? You don't know where to serve him. You don't know where he lives. You don't know how to find these things. Then even if he did get served, he probably would call it his government contracts, and he likely would, in reality, would likely bury you in litigation with his team of attorneys because he has
a shit ton of attorneys
and a shit ton of money, so he
Mhm.
has the capability of doing it. And then secondarily, it probably would be able to be completely confidential and swept away, and they could get it dismissed because of the confidential nature of Wayne Enterprises and their government contracts for military weapons, etc. So he would fall under that umbrella. So you got quite a few things, and basically just be a good guy so Batman doesn't come after you.
So the last question before we wrap up for the evening: your favorite Batman?
Ben Affleck, because I feel loyal to him. Being from Boston, but we all know who the best Batman was. Christian Bale. He was really good.
The story was great. I didn't like.
I really wish they developed that Robin.
Okay, yes, that one. Yes,
my God,
that
he
one-
would have been so good. Robin would have actually been cool.
Yeah, that one I agree with. But mine, like I hated
Especially
the Robin.
that he was a police officer. I loved it. So Justice League.
I gotta say, for me, it will always be Michael Keaton, because like that's the one I grew up on. He had that
so cheesy.
he had that playboyish style. He had that serious look with his eyes. Like I feel like he delivered on Batman, on both Bruce Wayne and Batman as Michael Keaton. Oh, Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and Batman. But I'll ask you this one: your favorite film, favorite Batman film out of the entire Batman universe?
Ooh, that's hard. Now again, we all know that I really love Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the one with Superman in it, because I
So are you talking about the Batman versus Superman or the Justice League one?
like Batman versus Superman.
I
A
think
lot.
I think the entire world was waiting for that fight right there, and
I loved it.
it was a really good fight.
I when it happened and I saw it in the movie theaters, I was with my late husband, and I said this so many times. He told me to shut up. Superman can't die. He doesn't die. This didn't happen. He doesn't die. This isn't real. I'm like, I don't accept this. This isn't okay. I'm not okay with this. I'm really upset. I was really upset.
How are you not accepting kryptonite? You have to. You have to.
He can't.
You have to accept kryptonite as
I accept that kryptonite is real. I don't accept that he died. Like I don't want him to die.
You don't want him to die.
That's why I don't want him to die.
So this is just like you're. I'm telling you that the sky is blue. You're like, no, it's not.
Right. I don't want the sky to be blue. Right. It was more like I don't want him to die. Like no. And Steve, that's my late husband. He said, don't worry, he comes back. There's movies called Superman Returns. He's not real, and he'll be in the Justice League. We have already confirmed that. Henry Cavill's acting in it. He's already working on the project. So Superman comes back, and I'm like, he can't stay dead. It was mostly I was upset because I'm like, kryptonite is the only way he can die, and he died from kryptonite. And how can our worlds be whole without?
You got to remember at the end of the film that the pieces of dirt were lifting off the casket.
Right, which is why I said he can't be dead because the dirt was lifting.
Oh, yeah,
so naturally.
Yeah. So is your claim that just Superman can't die in general?
Yeah, like it's like our world would vacuum into a black hole.
And there you have it. If Superman dies, we all die.
That butterfly effect. We got a funny, an interesting question here, an interesting comment. I'm gonna hit show.
Go for
it. So Jen Hogan, thank you for your participation in my silly superheroes. Do you think they have DNA from Bruce Wayne, like through a blood draw? And if Batman left blood, hair, or some other form of DNA, they could identify Batman? I think they could, but I want to say that because of the suit he wears, he's not often cut. I don't see often that he's depicted in having, blood loss through his suit, right? Remember all the
yes, Michael Keaton versus Catwoman.
That's why he's bad. He left DNA.
She stabs him with her nails, and then her nail falls off.
Ben Affleck would never do that.
Damn, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, so his suit is bulletproof. And only this part of his face is out.
You really can't tell who's who on that one because
naturally this is.
Yeah, so
my what I want to say is that because of the suit, hair's not falling off of him, and he doesn't often have an injury such that blood comes off, or because it's outside or it would be degraded, maybe it wouldn't be very good or collectible.
So the one thing that I remember,
but it's a good. I think I feel as though in reality, in real life, if this was really happening, I think that's exactly what would happen. Someone would be like, "Oh, this is his blood."
I had a friend of mine who works for the coroner's office here in Orange County, and I always ask him like the stupidest, crazy questions, and I'm like, do they have like a database of like everyone's blood or
not everybody, but yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is a national database. Come on, you watch true crime.
I know. Well,
And
well, I think that in regards to that, like they would have to have reason why to speculate. Oh, let's run it with Bruce Wayne's sample.
So the real question, I suppose, would be: is Bruce Wayne's blood in there?
Is it actually Bruce Wayne's blood?
Probably not. I imagine he would ensure that it's not, right.
Yeah, no, he's Batman.
Reasons, right?
That's why Batman's a better superhero than Superman.
Close the laptop. Let's go home. But Superman wouldn't bleed.
Superman did bleed.
But for using kryptonite. Also, here's another practicality of that is the people who he's harming or hurting or fighting are bad guys, right? Oftentimes he leaves them tied up, calls the police and says, come get remember, he won't kill anybody.
Yep.
So he's not committing crimes so egregious that they're going to want to put or invest the money into collecting his DNA and doing that type of an investigation because, he does exactly what law enforcement would rather you like law enforcement would say you should do is stay away and call the police, right? So he might fight them and beat them up, but then he ties up the bad guys, right? They naturally have been committing a crime,
Yeah.
and then he calls the police or he leaves them for the police to find. So in a way the police are probably like,
I think that Superman causes more public property damage.
oh, I think Superman doesn't give a about any of that. I think he doesn't care. I think he's just like, listen, I got to save the day, and I'm basically a speeding bullet. Whatever. It's broken. You'll fix it.
It's like my argument with
if we were, on a farm in Kansas, this wouldn't have happened. Y'all want these buildings.
But no, Erin, once again, thank you so much for taking your time to answer everyone's questions.
I want to thank everybody for entertaining our little project of
Batman versus
the
Batman.
law and superheroes. We'll go through some other movies that are non-superheroes, but I can't promise I'll stop the superhero theme.
Should we go into Marvel next week?
I think so. I think I love superheroes.
Because I can knock out the last legal questions that I have for the DC universe right now. And I think you kind of answered it too with oh no, wait, he's Marvel.
Who?
Yeah, I gotta wait till next week.
To tell me who? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do Marvel next week.
We'll do
then give us some suggestions on what movies or, pop culture.
Yeah.
Where that's fake naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And how the law would apply to that, especially in family law. I think a really good one would be Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh yeah.
What's another one that has to do
I
with
want to know
custody?
the family
Liar.
The family law behind the Brady Bunch.
Oh.
Yeah, because he's coming in with 3 kids. She's coming in with 3 kids. Have we ever seen the father or the mother, the biological parents to the Brady Bunches?
Coming soon, Brady Bunch and Family Law.
We're doing that one. So once again, if you have any questions or would like to set up a consultation with attorney Erin Morse, 407-900-7451, or go to our website, morse-firm.com, click the schedule consultation, and you'll get it right then and there. Erin, anything else you want to say before we head out?
No. I think we should put up a poll and have people vote. So if you could get up on that vote in the next couple of days, probably at the beginning of the week, probably put up a vote on what you'd like to see answered. And if you have a different suggestion, give it to us.
Okay.
So
I love it.
We'll answer your real questions if you have them, but then I think maybe answering some questions on pop culture and how it would work in Florida law.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night.